Ladies and gents, welcome into the big one. England and Norway. It feels like a Premier League matchup with Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard out there for Norway. And of course, this English side is so talented. We've got the biggest names of the game here, this one here. In a steamy Miami day. The sea of red and the sea of white at both ends of the park. Let's get into the lineups before we get into this one. For Norway, it's as you expect, Nyland in goal. Motherwolfer, Hegem, Ayer, and Resin as the back four. Interesting how long Reyes can stay fit today. Patrick Berg and Sander Berg alongside Martin Odegaard in midfield, who were fantastic in that win versus Brazil. Sorloth and Haaland are up top, but they're accompanied by Alexander Schürrle, Andreas Schürrle today on the left-hand side, meaning Ostergaard, Bjorkan, Pedersen, Tornsby, Orsnes, Asgard, Bob, Petter Haag, Strand Larsen, and Antonio Nusa are options from the bench. For England, Jordan Pickford makes a record-breaking appearance today. Ezri Konsa, John Stones, Mark Gehi, and Nico O'Reilly across the back line. O'Reilly and Gehi nursing yellow cards. Anderson in midfield alongside Declan Rice is also on a yellow. Then you've got Noni Madueke on the right. Jude Bellingham on a yellow card at the 10. Anthony Gordon on the left. And Harry Kane plays up top. Meaning Dan Burn, Reece James, Jed Spence is on the bench. Kobbie Mainoo, Morgan Rogers, Eza, Bukayo Saka, Marcus Rashford, and Ollie Watkins down there as well. We're almost in readiness for this one here. Yeah, a moment's silence here. Alrighty, so we are ready to go now. Noise is palpable. Of course, when the England game at the World Cup goes on, it's always going to be palpable. England coming off the back of that historic victory at the Azteca. Norway after another historic victory versus Brazil. They're in uncharted territory right now, Norway. Led by Erling Haaland and Martin Odegaard. England, well, they've been here before. They were here last go around in Qatar, where they were beaten by France. They're looking to take one step better this time around in the Miami Heat. It's not going to be easy. There's this Norwegian, very, very talented and hard-working side. So we're underway here from Miami. Norway in their home red strip from left to right in the first half. England, of course, in their white strip from right to left. A chance to book their spot in the semi-final up for grabs. Some of the best Premier League talent on display on both sides, as these two massive nations go head-to-head. Nico Ryder take this story on the left-hand side. Reinstated to left back after he had that one-game rest at left back versus Ghana. They went Jed Spence out there, and ever since he's missed, they knew they had to have him back as quickly as possible, and you've seen the impact that he's made. Such a talent at both ends of the park. And rumours out Declan Rice missing due to illness or lack of fitness. He starts again alongside Elliot Anderson in midfield. Anthony Gordon obviously on the left after his very, very impressive display last time out. His pressing, his energy, his intensity versus Mexico was a massive point of difference in that game there. So more Jordan Pickford now. Lost one out to Nico O'Reilly. Chest control to Elliot Anderson. They'll still be playing together this season for Manchester City. That's a beautiful crossfield ping to find Noni Madueke into the side today. Madueke looking to use his pace, but then the cross was very, very poor and wasteful. Massive game to come from Reyes and Mother Wolfer to to keep those direct wingers, Gordon and Madueke, out the game. And then obviously they'll have to stay on song, because if it goes later in the game, we're still not at a draw. Of course, Saka and Rashford will be introduced, so it's not going to be an easy day for the fullbacks of Norway. Here's Gordon of Barcelona now. Christopher Aya puts it out of play. Another player that plays in the Premier League for Brentford, so Premier League players all over the park today. A loud England chant echoes around this Miami stadium. Of course, they always travel in great numbers, but outpowering the Norwegians today have been one of the best travelled sides in this competition. Declan Rice, that beautifully weighted crossfield pass. Noni Madueke takes it down dead. Konzate playing a right back in the absence of Gerald Quansah. That red card versus Mexico means he couldn't make the squad today. John Stones reinstated to the centre half. Bit of versatility once again on display from Thomas Tuchel's side, and it was clear the reasons why he picked his 26-man squad was for versatility, level of togetherness, and a squad mentality, which has been on display throughout with the versatility of like Jed Spence, Ezri Konsa, Yao Quansah, frontline players, being in and out. Anthony Gordon, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, and Noni Madueke. We're seeing Norway quite comfortable in their sitting shape right now. They're not pressing too high. They're being compact at 4-5-1. Haaland just wandering around the centre circle. Obviously, got to see Lionel Messi later today, but I think Haaland you probably could mimic in the same vibe as Lionel Messi, where he'll probably walk for 80% of the game, but when he is at full pelt and when he gets a chance, he will take it. Racing with the defensive header. Reacted to first by Mark Gahey. Team ball looking for Bellingham. You just think will be one of those key players again today. Ran his socks off versus Mexico. Didn't just run his socks off, also bagged 2 goals of his own. Another inspired display from Jude up top alongside Harry Kane. Here's Reyerson. On the same page as Atletico Madrid's Alexander Sorloth. So England back with possession. Expect them to live at the 65s, even 70s at times today in terms of possession. But won by Sorloth, and Haaland's making the run. It's just not a good enough pass, and it was John Stones back there to intervene on the pass to deny his teammate a chance at goal. He thought Sorloth could have drifted that ball out to the far side rather than trying to get through to Haaland on the near side. He's athletic enough and quick enough to go and adjust his body if you just get the ball in behind, but showed too much of that pass to John Stones, and you don't want to show too much of the ball to John Stones. He is a weapon defensively. Stones across the back line, and Mark Gahey. He's been a permanent figure in this back line since that opening matchup where he was not picked. John Stones picked ahead of him that day. But ever since then, it has all been about Mark Gahey. Nico O'Reilly drops it inside to Anthony Gordon. Just got away from him, but won it back. Great fighting. Harry Kane as well. England keep it. Nico O'Reilly now. Anderson, a beautiful pass across the ground to Noni Madueke here. Flag eventually going up. Madueke's going to do better than that. Had a lot of space, a lot of time out there. No need to make you run too early. And you see there how well Norway squeeze up, Keep that line. So Haaland's kick. Headed flick on by Sorlot. Shoulder puts it in there to Haaland, who recycles it to Sorlot. And Jude's back to do defensive work now. Little half chance there for Norway. And Jude does very, very well to keep it off Ødegaard and then be fouled. Clement Turpin today, the French referee. A lot of these players will know him very well from UEFA Champions League nights. John Stones now. To Declan Rice, he can drive into this midfield area. Plays it out to Nico O'Reilly. Anthony Gordon, looking for a little nutmeg on Rayson. Solid defender, but known for his attacking play. Record-breaking assist numbers in the Bundesliga this campaign for him. Fantastic season for Borussia Dortmund. But a part of a very, very solid back line. John Stones, another long diagonal. Gordon tries to keep that ball in play, but in doing so, gives it straight to Alexander Sorlot. Looking to use his pace and physicality to get past Nico O'Reilly. But O'Reilly getting back well and winning that ball beautifully. Precision and skill getting the better of pace and power in that occasion. Elliot Anderson as we continue out from right back. Into Jude Bellingham, who at times will drop in to try and receive the ball. Okay, out to Anthony Gordon. Harry Kane's dropped in here. Another long switch to Noni Madueke. Awkward bounce for him to take down. And in doing so, he's handled it. Clement Turpin's agreed. Higher under pressure from Harry Kane. Haaland's kick is fantastic. Melo Wolfer just showed too much of that ball, and Noni Madueke doing some great defensive work there to win the ball back for Norway. England able to control the pace, control the tempo here, keep the football. That's incisive from Gordon. Nico O'Reilly chopping inside. Got past Maria Simon, not by Christopher Ayer. Now Ødegaard, little nutmeg on Anderson. And away comes Sorlot. Just to find a pass here, and that's what he does. Chance for Norway now to build out. Sander Berge on it. Really was a joy to watch Patrick Berg and Sander Berge in midfield versus Brazil. The control they had, the ability on the football. I think Patrick Berg is surely in for a major European move after a great season for Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. Backing it up now on the global stage. Surely teams have seen enough to say, this is a player we want on our side. A hybrid to 8-10. Occupies that sort of forward region of that midfield three. Very creative, hard-working. Really good in tight spaces as well. Ayer. After Sheldrup. Coming in today for Antonio Nuso. has shown moments, but Sheldrup has actually produced some good numbers. 3 assists so far in this FIFA World Cup finals for him. All of them off the bench. Was a shining star in that rotation squad versus France and backed it up, obviously, versus Brazil in that round of 16 matchup. He's earned his spot in the quarterfinals ahead of the ever-dynamic Antonio Nusa. Could spell this, though, for Norway, just to repel some of the England pressure and possession. Get their foot in the football and really try to make it tick in here. Patrick Berg. And now with Ødegaard. Conscious effort for Martin Ødegaard today. It looks like to sit a little bit deeper and pick the ball up from deep. Trying to create from that sort of region. Berg. Under the pressure of Declan Rice, but keeps the ball. Sorloth back to goal against Nico O'Reilly. Sorloth seems to be a constant option for Norway when they're in possession. It's a big crossfield switch, and big is a good word. He's overhit that Christopher Ajer, and it's straight out of play. Obviously a very, very hot day today in Miami. A muggy day. Apparently feeling like towards up to 40 degrees out there. So a game which hydration breaks going to be massive, but also for England, it's going to be tough for them later in the game. The altitude of the Azteca, the heats and humidity of Miami. They've only played one game prior to that round of 16 tie outside, and that was that 0-0 with Ghana. So their third outdoor match, and two have been in very, very extreme conditions. So important to see how they manage this game and how they get going or how they slow down in terms of their chances of winning this one. But so far, it's been a slower, more precise start to the game. Both teams happy just to keep the ball and try and pick apart the opposition rather than use brute pace and power at this current point in time. Konza into Elliot Anderson and out of his feet to find John Stones. He's departing Manchester City at the end of the season, so we'll be seeing John Stones at a new football club this campaign. Gahey. To Declan Rice. This man has run and run and run for the last 2 seasons and maybe just starting to come to a halt, but still a massive part to play today for England. He was in his West Ham type role today, sitting deeper and looking to play from there. Anthony Gordon looking to get the better of Reyes and does so. And gets a crossing chance, which is blocked behind by Christopher Ajer, and it's going to be a corner kick for England on the quarter of an hour mark. The man in Miami watches on, David Beckham. Declan Rice stands over this one. Declan Rice corner kick. There might not be too many things more dangerous in world football right now. That ball, though, is poor. And repelled by the man of the near post. No one's allowed to run out of play. Anderson. Back to John Stones. Into the feet of Declan Rice now. Gordon. Sizing up an early cross there, but decided against it, despite the complaints of Jude Bellingham and Noni Madueke were making the runs into the box. So England once again trying to work it from left to right. Noni Madueke now. Into the feet of Bellingham. Pushed off it though. Hagen did well there. But again, Norway cannot get out. They are camped in into their own area here. But we saw this at times versus Brazil, in particular in that first half where Brazil had a lot of the football and Norway were just happy to sit in. And it's what England are doing today. They have a lot of put the ball, but Norway happy to sit in. Early ball in from Gordon. Dealt with by Aya. Great touchdown by Erling Haaland, but Anthony Gordon getting his toe in there and winning off the feet of Martin Ødegaard. Mark Yea. As the England fans find their voice, singing away in the Miami sun. Elliot Anderson. Bellingham. Wait to pass out to Madueke again. Just wondering if he can get the better of this 1v1 matchup versus Sheldrup and also Mella Wolfer. I think that's probably going to be the weakest side of the Norwegian defensive action. Ryerson, and to be fair, Salt dropping back well to cover off defensively as well, but Ryerson much better 1v1 defender than I think the Mella Wolfer is. Gordon. Just shifting his weight inside and finding Nico O'Reilly. Stones. To the left where Elliot Anderson is. He plays the ball in behind for Anthony Gordon. Plays that ball back to Anderson. With whip. Bellingham. Couldn't redirect that ball on target. It was a low ball in and it was really hard to stoop down and get something on that there for Jude Bellingham. But almost the opening for England. Early signs there though for England. Balls from out wide into the box for box crashing runs from Bellingham. Players coming narrow. Patrick Berg and Rice going toe-to-toe. There's a handball shot there against Jude Bellingham, and Norway will win that free kick, which they're not too keen to take too quickly. They have very much here to soak up some early pressure. Despite them being slower starters in Norway. Oh, that's a poor pass from Mella Wolfer. Gives it to Rice. Harry Kane. Chance to fashion a shot, but looked to try and play in Bellingham, and it was broken up in the end. As I was saying, despite Norway being relatively pragmatic and slower starters, they have scored the first goal in 4 of their last 5, or 4 of the 5 World Cup games they've played in. They're normally a team that scores first and looks to control it from there. After the one game which they didn't score first was that loss to France where they rotated the full starting 11. Norway to Erling Haaland to do so. 7 goals so far in this tournament. A man that normally when he scores 1 will definitely score 2. Only once he failed to score a brace in this tournament. 4 appearances, 7 goals, 3 braces, 1 singular goal. He's been the most electric centre forward in this tournament. With the least amount of games played, is still on the heels of Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi on 8 goals. They've had a lot of the ball here, around 30 yards out from their goal. Passing from left to right. They're trying to get that big diagonal crossfield pass to catch the Norwegian backline off kilter, and they try it again here to Nico O'Reilly. Here's Nico O'Reilly. John Stones. Konza. O'Reilly trying to fashion one through. Fizz it into Anthony. Takes it down well. Gordon on the left-hand side with Ryerson all over him. Earlier ball in from O'Reilly towards the back post. Madueke is there. Just bounced over him though. And Mella Wolfer will get rid towards the halfway line. That's where John Stones is. And safely back to Jordan Pickford in goal. Jordan Pickford's 18th World Cup appearance. All-time England World Cup appearance record holder now. Everton's number one. It's basically become a cult figure for the England national team. Marquette to Anderson. Then O'Reilly. This is where he's dangerous. Driving in a back line. Give and go with Gordon. O'Reilly stands one up. Looking for Madueke. He does take it down, but the ball wasn't fantastic. Fist the back in. Oh! And it came off O'Reilly. And was redirected wide of the mark in the end. And that was the best move that England have created so far. And on that note, it's time for the quarter-time break. That's better from England. More incisive, more direct. A little give and go between Gordon and O'Reilly. Sets that ball up towards Noni Madueke. When he cuts it back, Nico O'Reilly just tried to take it down, but I think the ball had way too much on it for Madueke. Ended up being redirected wide. So we had our first break. After 23 minutes, it's 0-0 to these two sides. So we're back for the second period here of this first half. Both sides having a chance to take some fluids in after a slower start, but a very hot start nonetheless here. I still don't know why these games are not being played at night in the US. It still confuses me, but I guess for European friends and family over there, that's why it's at this time slot. So back on the way, it'll be an England throw here on this far side. Roy Rice out to Noni Madueke. I've seen this a few times. But Sholdrup gets doubled and he ends up winning that football back for Norway. Wolf up to Berg. Now Haaland, a rare touch for him in the early offing. Wolf up. Shoulder up. That pass, asking a lot of Sander Berger. He puts it out of play. Fulham man. Oh, good throw to Jude Bellingham. He knocks the ball past. Christopher Iam is brought down. And smart thinking from Jude Bellingham. He wins a throw now in a very, very tantalising position on the edge of the area. Pretty smart. Go quickly from the throw. Catch Norway out. A little bit off balance. Ayers across to the wrong side of the fence. There's no centre half in Hegem on the near side of where that throw was taken. A mistake was made and a foul and a chance for Declan Rice to size one up here. Saying that Harry Kane looks like he's lining this one up. Berger, Haaland, Wolfer. It's a 5-man wall. So Kane and Madueke line this one up. Looks like it's going to be a Harry Kane right-footed effort. It's Kane! Ooh. It's with power and it's always on the way up. They try to just blast that past Nyland in goal. Not looking to take on that 5-man wall, instead just lashing it towards the far side where the keeper was. But always under that ball, always rising. And that early opportunity to get something on goal has gone and been wasted by Harry Kane. Hegem with a barnstorming run. Now with Wolfer. Rare chance for Norway to have possession in the England half. But as I say that, they go back into their own half. Ødegaard again dropping deep to receive. Sander Berger. So far, so good for Norway, though. They've held on. They've not allowed England to crack too much. It really has been the last two flurries forward for England, which half moments have happened. But they've managed things very, very well. I want to see, though, if they can get forward in their own right, if they can create on the counter-attack in any way. Berger asking Ayer to come up. He receives it there. Through that little press to Patrick Berg. And now Sorloth. Ryerson. Ødegaard. Great footwork from Martin Ødegaard. Now Sorloth. This is Norway trying to get forward here with Berger. Flick from shoulder up. Able to find his target. Benfica man in there. Arsenal skipper Ødegaard. Ball over the top. Pickford comes out and claims in the end very easily. England now playing out through Jordan Pickford. Nico Arani down the line to Anthony Gordon. As they flick the ball past Ayer. Put out of play, but it goes quickly with the throw. It's Harry Kane. Sets it to Gordon. And Ryerson just getting on top of and fouling Anthony Gordon there. Ryerson not happy at all. Waving the hands at it. He gets there secondary. Chance for Rice to whip something in here. There's a strong Norwegian backline there. Declan Rice's deliveries, as I said, probably the best in world football right now from these sort of set plays positions. Shoulder up the one-man wall. Looked to loft this one in between that backline and the goalkeeper. Haaland and Bellingham having a little bit of a giggle there. For my teammates for Dortmund. Has his ball, again not meeting the man closest to him. Konza. Declan Rice. Trying to make an avenue. She finds the Ezri Konza. Konza smartly through to Jude Bellingham. England working here through this. Oh, Norwegian press, and they've always given it away there, John Stones. Erling Haaland was almost on it. I was saying they're working it nicely through the Norwegian press, but almost gave it away there, Johnny Stones. And all of a sudden, this game sort of sparked to life now because England had to wake up. Ryerson getting in there ahead of Gordon. Now with Ødegaard. And the Norwegians just lifted them for a moment. Great pressing. Caught England out. Almost short there from John Stones. Great work from Ryerson to keep the ball away from Anthony Gordon. Sorlot. Back with Sander Berger. And Haaland almost thought that was a free one. Put a platter for him by his former teammate John Stones. But the record-breaking man, Jordan Pickford, his 18th England appearance at a World Cup finals, got there first. And that's the reason why we're still knotted at 0-0. Feels like a proper quarter-final, this one. Really, really tight and cagey early on here. Patrick Berg. Ryerson. Nice back to Martin Ødegaard. Here's Hegem. Wolfer. To Sheldrup. The Benfica man, obviously, with a new manager this season as Jose Mourinho has been confirmed now and is operating things at Real Madrid. Their pre-season starting just 2 days ago now. Ødegaard. Getting that ball through to Ryerson, a crossing opportunity. Headed there for Haaland. And Jordan Pickford is there. First effort on goal for Norway. That's the threat that they can pose. Out wide, getting balls in the box. Big side. Kane cut on it. He went to ground. Clement Turpin didn't agree with it. Shoulder up. Konza back pedaling. Shoulder up. It's in! Oh, shoulder up! Brilliant! And Norway out of nowhere. And a thunderbolt from Sheldrup gives them the lead. A stunning finish from the Benfica man. He just lashed it towards goal. And it rifled into the top right-hand corner. Magic moment for Norway. He's Harry Kane fouled there, though, by Patrick Berg. There'll be a look at VAR for that, but look at this from Sheldrup. Oh, it's definitely a cross, but it does not matter one bit. Looks to whip it, and it comes in off the far post, right into that far right-hand corner. It would take something special to beat Jordan Pickford from out there, and that's what he's produced. Starless or back in his side are in dreamland now. And a big hug from Erling Haaland as well. The check's being completed, looks like. We're going to get back underway here. So no foul on Harry Kane, and England will have to come from behind. Norway have done it again. They've held on. They've been tough to beat, and they've scored first. And in every game which they've scored first in this tournament so far, they've gone on to win it. There's now 5 of their 6 World Cup games which they've scored first. The one which they didn't was that rotated squad versus France, and that's when they lost. It is a perfect start for the Norwegians. And it won't end there. You know that for a fact, because Norwegian games as World Cup have averaged 4.2 goals per game. There have been high-scoring, back-and-forth affairs. So a team to foul Nico O'Reilly. They went very early. A little momentum chart. All England's favour. And then all of a sudden, that press, which Norway sprung, just almost caught John Stones out. 50-50 duels being won. Reyerson getting up the pitch. And then they went and struck, again, from a press. Patrick Berg winning that ball in midfield against Harry Kane. Mala Wolfer gets a toe in. Now all of a sudden they just look a little bit more confident. Declan Rice. Bellingham. England have to come from behind here. And Gordon has pulled Reyerson there. And finally the fullback gets his call that he wanted. Big final 7 minutes here before the interval. England want a good response here. Not necessarily a goal, but just a strong attacking effort, some good build-up play, and put Norway under the cosh here before half-time. Norway will just hold on here. They'll look to carry this lead in and the momentum into half-time. That ball lands at Sorloth's feet. Sorloth! Oh! And he took it on and almost produced another magical moment. And the Vikings, well, they're in full row now. And that's what he can do. Oh, it's a fizzer. Just goes over. And again, Haaland pressing Pickford. It is coming. Norwegian row. Erdegaard. Too much space for him. He'll whip it near post. Pickford parries it. And gets on a second ball there. And there's a good little 5-minute period here for Norway. They've picked their moment to perfection. O'Reilly, Gordon, Reyerson, draped all over him. Those two are going at it today. Okay. Here's John Stones. He drops it off to Declan Rice. England need to try and insert some of the precise action into the final third. Only been Jordan Pickford who's been tested so far. No line in the Norwegian goal. Yet to make an important intervention. It's a ball that's inside, broken up though by a shoulder up, and Erdegaard's pass was loose. He hands it to his teammate, Noni Madueke. Turns away from the goal scorer shoulder up. Madueke, Bellingham takes it on. Looking for Harry Kane, but couldn't find him. Erdegaard sets the task of Erling Haaland. He's got both his former teammates in Gay and Stones. And in the end, Johnson has to put that out of play. The presence of Erling Haaland. Could they nick 2 in the first half, Norway? They are the team pushing. Hooked around the corner there. From shoulder up. Couldn't find any option. Gordon. He was taken out without the ball there. By Reyerson, and Clement Turpin saw that. Nico O'Reilly into Mark Gahey. England took the hard way. Gahey, O'Reilly. Gordon keeping the width out left. Madueke, the width out right. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bukayo Saka potentially from the hour mark, just for a little bit more polish in that final third. No, Madueke has been available and been an out ball, but it's that final end product. We saw it from the first attack. He just doesn't have the same accuracy or pinpoint perfection which Bukayo Saka can have at the important moments. Gordon, Anderson inside. Ball shifted across now to John Stones. Gahey. Now Anderson. John Stones. Gahey skips past Erdegaard. Sells his teammate right short, but shoulder up just didn't take the ball with him. Madueke, Bellingham. England trying to force the issue later on here. Bellingham gets his head up in the channel there. Berger in the way though. Great pass around the corner. Patrick Berg. Erdegaard. A lot of space for Sorloth. And it's 2-on-1. Sorloth and Haaland's there. Sorloth still. Alexander Sorloth. And the chance is gone. Well done, John Stones. He just held up Sorloth long enough and covered off the angles to make it an awkward pass to Erling Haaland. And that is almost game-saving from that back to the Stones and Gahey getting back eventually. England trying to force it here, almost created their own downfall. Not even Madueke trying to get at the back line. Ball in, headed behind by Hegem. This game has sprung to life since the hour mark, half-hour mark. It's an England corner kick. It's Declan Rice again. Second corner of the game for the three lines. England congregating towards the penalty spot here. Kane, Gahey, Bellingham, Stones, Gordon in there. Another low one. Bellingham tries to get a foot on this one. Rice is there. Norway wanted offside and they'll get it eventually. Norway staying solid again. What could have been though? Sorloth and Haaland on the counter-attack. Just wonder if Sorloth just had bit the bullet and gone early and tried to squeeze that ball through to Erling Haaland if we are seeing a 2-0 scoreline right now. It's definitely a across from shoulder up, but he will not care one bit. It ends up looking like one of the best finishes you ever see. So we've got 4 added on to the 45. Long ball from Nico Riley. It's going to sit nicely for Anthony Gordon. Christopher Ayer of Brentford there with him. And stands him up well because Gordon just puts out a play. Norway have put together probably the perfect first 45 minutes. Rigid and solid without the football. They've pressed when they had to around the half-hour mark. They created opportunities. They scored a chance. And to be honest, when they've got on the football, they've looked more well put together. Gordon, the set for Bellingham. Can Jude equalise? Jude Bellingham! Brilliant Bellingham! And the superstar number 10 does it again. Whenever they come calling, Jude Bellingham picks up the call and answers. And he's done it once more, Jude. A powerful box-crushing run. Holds off the defender. And slots it with a left-footed effort into the bottom right corner. It's Bellingham brilliance. And it's one man. He's doing it all right now. Here it is. Gordon's running behind. He chops it back. And Plays that early ball. Bellingham on the edge of the area. Continues his run. Despite Hegem being all over him. Slots it into the far corner. Nyland, nothing he can do about that. Boy, is this guy special. And Bellingham buttes to draw level on halftime. And he's almost single-handedly carrying this side to potential another semi-final. And where they looked flat without a heartbeat in this first half, Jude Bellingham gave him a jolt of life. Madueke, fancy footwork. Anderson, now Bellingham. I think in the mood for a second here. Here goes Bellingham again. Tries to feed one through to Anthony Gordon. Clearance straight to Harry Kane. He lies one up. Harry Kane. Nyland down well. The fans respond to Jude Bellingham's goal. His 5th of the tournament so far. From midfield, may I add. This is 2022 Champions League-esque. Bellingham on the turn. He feeds to Anthony Gordon. Do England fancy one here late? Madueke, Rice. Kane up there. Everyone looking a little bit leggy though. They've had 49 minutes in this hot and humid climate. Anderson now on the edge. Rice. Shifts it to Bellingham. Through to Harry Kane. Kane! Beautiful! Oh, stunning! Oh, and offside. Offside against Harry Kane. And I thought that was a beautiful little dink finish. I have to have a look at it, though. He is off. Well done by the linesman. But again, Bellingham and Kane, when those two get going, there's not many that can stop them. And on that note, that's half-time. What an end to that 45. Norway look like the much better side. Now playing the better football. But out of nowhere, Jude Bellingham, inspired again, found an equaliser. Norway took the lead at the 36th minute. Thanks to Shoulderup's cross that became a shot. In off the upright. They pressed well since the half-hour mark. But late on, Bellingham brilliance. And for that reason, we are not at 1 apiece. Half-time break to come, guys. 10 minutes. And then we'll be back for the second half very, very shortly. As it stands, it is England and Norway 1 apiece. Ladies and gents, we are back. Second half action not too far away. Alrighty. I think he's in readiness. England making double change. So Declan Rice, Noni Madueke coming off, and on comes Ebereza and Bukayo Saka. So potentially Bellingham dropping a little bit deeper, or they're just committing to more numbers up the pitch and more numbers in around that final third. We didn't expect Rice to play too much. I didn't expect to play at all, to be honest. I thought he was ill and obviously been nursing that niggle. He's clearly not ready to play. Yet he is forcing his way through it because that's the player that Declan Rice is. Yeah, so Eza coming on, Saka coming on. That's no surprise there either. A little bit more quality in the final third with Bukayo Saka on the football. So we're underway here for the second half. England has kicked off. They're kicking from left to right. Norway from right to left. 45 minutes potentially separating one of these two European sides for between them and a World Cup semi-final. With a date to face either Switzerland or Argentina awaiting. It was a first half that started very, very cagey, very, very pragmatic, but as it grew and matured, it became really, really exciting to watch. Shoulder-up cross became a shot. He scored off the upright in the 36th minute. And then right towards the end, in stoppage time, Jude Bellingham put England on his back and equalised. That's where we are one apiece. England have gone with a more attacking shape. So Anderson at the deepest point of the pivot with Eza and Bellingham ahead of him. Gordon taking it down long, chopping inside and feeding Kane. He's been fouled. And a great bright start for Harry Kane. Sander Berger just getting in the back of the Bayern Munich centre forward. Just a nudge in the back of England skipper. Easy, easy foul to be called there by Clement Turpin. So with no Declan Rice on, it's almost certainly going to be Harry Kane, you assume. But Eza's lining it up as well. Declan Rice can only watch on from now on. He's going to be Eza. He's going to line this one up for England. Another 5-man Norwegian wall with a draft excluder. And then a 2-man England wall playing as a false wall to try and block the view of Nyland in goal. So Eberechi Eza of Arsenal lining this one up. Came at half time. Can he have the instant impact? Eza took a nick off Gordon, I think, in the end. And the false wall didn't quite work because Gordon got in the way of that one. And it's behind and over. It'll be a Norwegian goal kick. This is a game which you fancy as just to cause problems because this Norwegian low block and rigid block, not necessarily low, but how structured they are. He is that sort of circuit breaking type player who can find those passes in between lines and disrupt a side's defensive shape with his skill and creativity. Two new teammates, Anderson and Haaland, coming a cropper there. He's just about out. Interesting to see if England continue that response they had at the end of the half. If Norway come out with the same tempo and pressing intensity, or if both sides sort of lull back into that more pragmatic style, which we saw in the first 25 to 30 minutes of this matchup. As has been constantly mentioned, it is very hot there in Miami, very humid. Take a lot out of the players. It's almost as if that hydration break worked in the first half, because after that point in time, the game came alive. Here's our goal scorer, Shoulder. Norway now have scored 13 goals and conceded 10 of this tournament, so they're a team that not only scores goals, but ships goals and manages to win games. Only 1 goal difference a lot in this tournament, despite the dominance they've had in certain games. So England, when they conceded, were never out of the game. That ball's gone out of play, I think, and it's going to be an England throw on this near right-hand side for them. So Rice is one of those players on the yellow card that avoided another yellow, so he'll avoid suspension. Just got to keep an eye on, though, for the rest of the game. Nico O'Reilly and Jude Bellingham in particular, who are the 2 big names that they can't afford to lose England due to a second yellow. Haaland goes long, but overhit and straight to his opposite number in Jordan Pickford. Oh, beautiful footwork from Jude Bellingham. Shifting that from left to right feet. And stretching the game out to Bukayo Saka, who should have fresh enough legs to run out this game. Ezri Konsa. Saka chopping inside. Laying the ball off to Elliot Anderson. And European champion Ezri Konsa. Ball out to Gordon again. Underlapping run for Nico O'Reilly has been found. But he's met by 2 Norwegian red shirts and crowded out in the end. And ball hit forward for Alexander Sorloth. Squeeze one into Haaland. The layoff for Ødegaard just too heavy. And possession changes hands again. And a chance for Reza now, with Norway having to backpedal. Out wide to his teammate Bukayo Saka. Malawulfa backpedaling. Saka's shot. Blocked away. Ødegaard can come away with it. Shoulder up. Now Patrick Berg. Haaland's layoff, really unlike him, how poor that one was earlier there. Stopping that Norwegian counter and almost giving the key to England to counter back. But here's some space. And there's Sander Berge driving into it. He's got Haaland. He's got Sorloth. Sorloth on the right. Sorloth stands one up. Man, it almost snuck in to the near post. And Jordan Pickford had to tip it wide. And after making a meal of that, they've got a corner kick, Norway. Already an open start to the second half. In swing up. Headed away by Harry Kane at the near post. Another corner that doesn't really get on beyond the near man. Reyes can resend this one back in. Haaland! And Pickford had to tip wide. And again, whenever he goes near it, you just sense something's going to happen. Norway making their response here. Haaland just sort of getting in between Anderson and Stones there. Would have hoped done a bit better there. Erling Haaland has high expectations. Maybe to head that back to where it came from. Nonetheless, they get a corner kick. There is Alfie. Reyes now. Been told to put the ball back on the mark. Reyes sends the right-footed in swing up towards the near post. Oh, no one going to flick on it. Someone must have, because it's been a given for another corner on the far side now for Norway. Got towards Saul, I think. John Stones gets a little flick on. Hegem always charging in there at the back post. Get a touch on that. Again, Norway congregate towards the back post. Another Martin Odegaard delivery to come. Of course, Haaland's the centre of attention. 10 minutes into this second half. Haaland saw a lot. Hegem, Ayer in there. Odegaard to deliver. Put in. It's hit, deflected in. It's hit by Hegem. It's hit by Hegem. Norway take the lead again. And the big centre half at the back post. He was reacting first. And after 3 consecutive corners, England couldn't get their lines cleared. And Hegem at the back post to toe that ball into the top of the net. England want a handball. And Norway are celebrating. And they put themselves in a very commanding position in this quarterfinal now. The big centre half's been in and amongst it. Hansen goes down too easily. Can't be for that, surely. There's no offside there. This is going to stand, I reckon. And Hegem's first ever Norwegian goal. At the most important time. They are still looking at this. Oh, it's not a good look. Clement Turpin coming over to have a look at this one. No, it goes down too easy for me. Gee, it's a quick look. Gee, if he overturns this. Wow. Corner retaken. I don't... Wow, that's incredibly harsh. And this is now encouraging more of this like rubbish in the box where people just fall to the floor. You've got to be stronger than that if you're Elliot Anderson for me. I don't know about that at all. It's incredibly soft. And Norway will feel hard done by. It's another corner kick to be taken in by Martin Odegaard. We're going to go again here. Haaland having a word with Jordan Pickford. Those two aren't shy to having a conversation with each other. So England to clear their lines again here. A 4th consecutive Norwegian corner. Odegaard to take it. In swinger. Haaland at the near post. Got a flick on it. Elliot Anderson. Bellingham now away. That's a great challenge. Down there. Nice shoulder up. Listen to the roar of the Norwegian fans. Racing down again. Been managing that injury ever since that Senegal game. assume Ostergaard will come on for him in his place, or Orsnes. He's really been up against it so far in this tournament, Julian Ryerson. Constantly battling some sort of soft tissue injury. So it's Orsens. And he's going to be readying himself to come on. It's a big blow again for Norway. One of their creators, one of their attacking sparks to make way. To another Benfica player. Wilson's on. Place of Julian Ryerson. So he will fill him once again at fullback. Berg, Wolfer. Azar and Berger battling. Anthony Gordon, the flicked header. Bellingham coming away with it. Showed too much to Orsnes. Odegaard trying to slip one through to Alexander Sorloth. Able to find him though, Harry Kane. Under the press here. No way they've got England penned in at the moment. Doing their best not let them out either. Bellingham, great hold-up play. Gives it away to Patrick Berg. Great little 10-minute period here for Norway. 4 consecutive corners. Had the ball in the net. Great pressing. Sorloth. Orsens. Berg. Now with Berger. Looking in the mood right now, Norway. And whenever the ball gets to the feet of Martin Odegaard or Patrick Berg, it just feels like something's going to happen. And now it's not necessarily just on the counter-attack. It's against an England set-up back line. They're just finding a way to pick their way through right now. Must I remind England fans that their last 3 knockout games and their losses in those knockout games have come at the hands of European sides. I can also remind Norwegian fans that they're yet to win versus European sides. 2 draws and 4 losses in the last 6 games of the FIFA World Cup against European nations. So history's going to be made today at some point. For positive or for otherwise. Nyland. Ball up the line to Sorloth. Great hold-up play into Odegaard. Carry that ball away from Jude Bellingham and squeeze one into Shoulderup. He's come a little bit more narrow here. Finds his Benfica teammate in Orsens. Back with Martin Odegaard. Sander Berger. Orsens. Key numbers forward here, looking to try and break through this England back line. This is the man that will be able to do it, Martin Odegaard. Looking for his left foot, that little wand he's got there. Can he wave some more magic for Norway? Little dink ball in behind, Sorloth's there. Cut back. In the end, Sorloth had a run out of play. I think he's the next to go, surely, for Norway. Antonio Nusa is waiting. Even Oscar Bob, you surely bring one of them on. For a little bit more creativity. A little bit sharper edge in that final third. Pickford long towards Bukayo Saka. Mala Wolf for winning that duel. Winning it out of play for an England throw here on this near right-hand side. It's back into play to John Stones. Bellingham trying to win a yellow card off Erling Haaland there. He's done his best to do so. Cut onto pins. Bringing the game to a halt and reorganising the troops. Starless or Buchan sitting on that water cooler there, watching on intently. Anthony Gordon can't keep that ball in play, and it's going to go out for a Norwegian goal kick. So we're on the stroke here of that hydration break. It was the hydration break that, after that stoppage in the game, allowed the game to come alive. Talk about a star-studded box. R9, Kaká, Del Piero, Fabregas, Wenger. Talent aplenty. Ball's come off for Bukayo Saka. A play for a Norwegian throw. It's a little lull in the game right now. England just holding serve. Getting themselves ready for a final push in this one. And Norway just settling after exerting a lot of energy in that early push in the second half. Shoulder up, didn't foul Saka. Ball one back though by Anderson. He can carry it away now. Anthony Gordon. Goes out to Orsnes. Bellingham can be the cutback ball. Gordon past Orsnes. Can stand one up. Harry Kane is there. It's down to Harry Kane. He tried to take a touch in the box. Showed too much to shoulder it. Sends it forward. Erling Haaland marching on. Pickford composed off his line. Into the feet of Elliot Anderson. And back to John Stones. England avoid that awkward moment every time that the ball's just hit further forward. And you've got Erling Haaland running in behind. There's always a chance. Great reaction and defensive action from shoulder, but just to take the ball off the foot of Harry Kane. Thought he had more time than he actually did. It was England who won that quarter-final Euros tie on spot kicks in 2024, so they got past that hurdle most recently on spot kicks. There's Antonio Nusa readying himself, expecting him to come on now for Erling Haaland. Sorry, for Erling Haaland, and Alexander Sorloth. It's going to be Bob and Nusa, looks like. So Sorloth makes way for Oscar Bob. Showed up the goal scorer is going to make ways. Put a fantastic shift in, even outside of that cross-turn goal. Even outside of that, he's been very, very good today, linking the game up and doing great work defensively. So he's going to make way to Oscar Bob and Antonio Nusa on. Necessities, I think, by Starless back and to keep the legs on the side. But on that note, it's a hydration break. So the three-quarter time interval is here. We'll be away for a short period of time and be straight back for the final 20 minutes of this quarter-final matchup. It's 1-1 between Norway and England. So after that double substitution for Norway, England respond with a substitution of their own. Anthony Gordon makes way. On comes Reece James. He's been dealing with that soft tissue injury. It's an interesting move for England. Maybe some insurance in midfield alongside Elliot Anderson as they can go out wide. Gordon not too happy with being substituted, and I guess fair enough with Orsnes on, and not an out-and-out fullback. Fancied that matchup. Adds a little bit more balance to this English side. James's creativity in midfield. I'm saying Elliot Anderson, one of them can sit in and one can push on. Allows Jude Bellingham less defensive assignments. And once again, Thomas Tuchel showing why he picked his squad for versatility reasons. Reece James into midfield. Reece James is a loose first touch. Jeez. Almost sold Konza short there. And again, the Norway press, whenever it comes out, is so dangerous. Great defensive coverage from Christopher Ayer. Sander Berger into Oscar Bob, who's definitely going to light up the stage here. Him and Nusa are going to be very, very direct. It's going to be a much more electric front line now for Norway. Two fresh wingers, Konza and Nick O'Reilly, going to have their wits about them. O'Reilly, we know a lot about Oscar Bob, playing with him and then against him last season. Fulham picking up Oscar Bob on loan. That had been an assignment he's had before, though. Nyland to Hagen. We thought he made it 2-1 Norway. Tapping home. Second action of a corner kick at the back post, but deemed to be a push by Haaland before the corner was put in play. That's why it was retaken. Both fans making the noise here. Both fans trying to push their sides over the finish line here. With 18 to go here in Miami. A hot, sticky Miami. It's a poor clearance by Nyland, but the touch was even worse by Bukayo Saka, and hands possession back in favour of Norway. Nyland long, looking for Oscar Bob, just over hits that, and O'Reilly can clean that one up. Eza, he's gone back to the left-hand side here. Saka. Underlapping run by Konza. Open up the space for Reece James. He just sets one in there. Orsnes heads away. Haaland battling away there and getting the better of Mark Gahey. And Haaland continues his run further forward. Orsnes out wide. He's the one man in the box. Set back for Oscar Bob. This is dangerous. Oscar Bob tries to feint before shooting, and the chance goes begging. Patrick Berg following in. Couldn't do anything about that. And Mark Gahey, oh, you see the tear in the sock there. He wanted that foul call, and he's banged up quite a bit there, Mark Gahey. Referee come on Turpin. Seen it all, though. He won't be faced. Might have been a foul. Maybe it was a coming together. Noosa, a little floater in there. Gahey dealing with that ball. Second ball won by Oscar Bob, though. Haaland on the edge. Great set for Patrick Berg. Coming in there, Konza gets the header away. Antonio Noosa. Great footwork. Had to guard the return pass. Noosa shifting inside, and Konza gets a nick on it. Norway corner. Norway coming good here. Caught it out of play. And another moment when Norway have got overwhelming amounts of attacking threat. Thomas Tuchel watching on nervously, because right now Norway have come out of these hydration breaks and out of the major stoppage of half-time much better, much more of a threat. Patrick Berg's right-footed in-swinging delivery. A lot of pushing and grappling in the box. Just getting us warmed up for the Premier League season. That's starting now in around a month's time. James has Aya. Ball over everyone. Pickford gets a double fister on it. Orson's. Flicked on header. Oh, crossbar. Burger's there. Oh, Haaland. Oh, wide. Chaos in the box. And England living on the edge right now. Not known as the three lions, but they're living three lives right now. Pickford does enough to get something on it. Orson just heads it into a dangerous area. Flicked on header by Aya. Off the crossbar. And the bodies is in the way. And to be honest, the Orson's in the ground ball ends up being chaotic. And that's the reason why header was met by Christopher Aya. And bodies just being thrown around in the box to deny that late chance. Harry Kane gets in there. England are reeling. Right, looking to feed. Sorry, be fed through by Eberechi Eze. Here's Reece James. Two John Stones. Now Bukayo Saka sees a double. Antonio Nusa coming to help. James gets the set. Headed away by Berger. As far as Nico O'Reilly. Eze now. England regain momentum, regain control. Because right now Norway have it by the scruff of the neck. Saka chopping inside. We're going to set one in there. Block cross. Battle between Gay and Haaland again. Those two, no love lost there. Saka. Can they make something of this? Can they get something in there for Kane to get the end off? That's a ball in. Hegem away. He's starting to cramp up. A lot of tired bodies out there now in the last knockings of this one. Eze. Coming inside, feeding John Stones. Further right to Bukayo Saka. Can you look to stand one up in there? John Stones. James. Saka ball in. It might go the way. Oh. And at the back post there, who was coming in? That's one of those balls you just hate. It's Anderson at the back post. You hate to defend it because as a goalkeeper, do you stay on your line? Do you come out to it? Do you go towards the rear? You never know. And Anderson nearly getting a toe on it at the back stick. There's that Aya head up, flicking it on. But going flush off the crossbar. Norway have looked dangerous in this second period. Haaland. Plays it back to Berger. Kane getting a foot in, but can't come away with it. Sander Berger of Fulham. Berger. Now with Hegem. To Malawufa. Both these teams can win this game right now. It is so level. It would take a magic moment, but you've got magic men out there. Bellingham, Kane, Eze. For Norway, Haaland, Ødegaard, Nusa. Haaland on his haunches in there in the box. I wonder if he's right in there. Oscar Bob, formerly of Fulham. Returning back to his parent club, Manchester City, this campaign. Norway with swagger right now. Orsnes, Bob. Orsnes again. Antonio Nusa. With Stones backpedaling. Nusa can flick one in there. Back post where he's aiming for. Bob and Ødegaard were there, but Nico O'Reilly got in and headed that ball away. 10 minutes to play in this one. So tight. Hegem can skip on. Get away from Bellingham. He has to be careful on a yellow card. Saka stuck a leg out. The referee said no foul. Noosa to Berger. It's becoming a game of the final thirds, the middle third of the game, almost disappearing due to how leggy everyone is out there. Bob, fancy footwork to get past Nico Riley and set one in there. James got an early header away. Bellingham the seconds. Orsa's back in there. Berg. Never fell to him. Back to Ødegaard. Norway just winning those 50-50s right now. They're keeping possession. Keeping England defending. Martin Ødegaard again. It's been an inspired display by Norway. They've played a better football. They've looked the more dangerous. England are just reeling. They're going to rely on more magic, it feels like, if they're going to get over the line here. But Norway are working hard. And they're earning this. Corner kick won by Noosa. If anyone's going to win in the 90, you just feel like it's going to be Norway. Here's ball after ball in the box. Here's dangerous after dangerous attacks. And those Norwegian fans can be happy. They can applaud because their side has put together quite the shift today. Another Norwegian corner. Another in-swinger by Patrick Berg. Ødegaard almost man-marking Jordan Pickford. Berg's in swing up towards that near post. Harry Kane gets rid of it. Berg will recycle. Ødegaard now. Can he find that pass? Ødegaard, a little dink looking for Antonio Noosa. That was a little bit too much there from the Arsenal skipper. Bellingham sets the task of Bukayo Saka. Muller-Wolfer does well. Continue to do well here. Keeps that ball in play for Hegem. Well done, Muller-Wolfer. Sander Berger. Now Norway can work their way back out. The guy dropping deep again. He's surely run the most of anyone out there today. He has been absolutely everywhere for Norway. Orsa's trying to flick that ball back to Ødegaard down the line, but out of play. Jed Spence readies himself. Surely come on. Firstly, Konza, who's look like he's struggling out there, but Jed Spence has continued to play left back throughout this tournament, so maybe it is Nico Riley's day done. Haaland with the hold-up play. Ødegaard shifting of the weight to get past Harry Kane and threading through Antonio Noosa. This is where he can be dangerous. 3 white jerseys in the area. Antonio Noosa cutting inside. Couldn't keep it. Berg. They keep it though, Norway. Another Wolfer now. I thought he was lining up a shot. Berger. Ødegaard. At a standstill here. Hoarseness. Bob. Oscar Bob. Body feints. Lays on back to Ødegaard. Berger edge of the area. Can he tee one up? To the left now where Noosa is. Who fancies this matchup versus Konza. Noosa! Oh, looked to pick out that far post. A little bit too narrow though. And straight at Jordan Pickford. The two wingers who've come on have looked good. They've looked dangerous. And that's why Jed Spence is readying himself. They need some fresh legs at fullback because Oscar Bob and Noosa are going to have their way. If not, Morgan Rogers getting a message down there from Thomas Tuchel. I wonder if he's someone that's inbound. Jed Spence on. It needs to be Nico Riley to make way. So again, Jed Spence back to left back. And someone to potentially keep quiet. Oscar Bob is looking very tricky. So England have one more change to make. Reece James back to Gehi. Across to the new man, Jed Spence. Early touch for him. Sheldrup and Bellingham in the first 45. The reason we're knotted at one apiece here. Despite Hegem having the ball in the back of the net. That was chalked off for a foul in the build-up. And Norway have hit the crossbar as well through Christopher Ayer. England have really not posed much of a threat. Start of the first half, second half, not too bad. But since sort of the 55th minute, it's been real one-way traffic in favour of the Norwegians. Stones out to Saka. He can deliver something in there of note. Saka looking at them. Oh, down the bar line. Saka still. What a cutback. Oh, what a clearance for Orsnes at the rear post. There's two players waiting there. Beautiful footwork from Bukayo Saka. And those England fans behind this goal, they're attacking. They lift. Konza tries to get past Antonio Nusa and does so. And wins a corner for England. And England have come alive here. What a clearance from Orsnes at the rear post there. Saka so tricky. And across the 6-yard box. Eza, Kane, both there. But Orsnes there first. And to not put the ball in his own net and get it out of play was very smart by the fullback, the deputising fullback. Central midfield player by trade, but doing a great job today and has done throughout the tournament as a fullback. So Eza, out-footed, right-footed out-swinger, sorry. It's more floated in there. No one really near that. And a big shove on Orsnes by Harry Kane. Cunningham, a real frustrated figure today. Hasn't got involved at all. Another Miami resident now. Luis Suarez. Morgan Rogers coming on. And Esri Konza to make way. So I assume now that Reece James will go to right back. Bellingham might go a little bit deeper and Morgan Rogers will play as at number 10. And substitution at fullback for Norway as well. Another Wolf has run his run. Solid display for him. And Holgen Pedersen, he scored that beautiful goal versus Senegal. Coming on. Long ball looking for Haaland. Second ball though, won by Martin Ødegaard in there. He's doing a lot of the grunt work right now for Norway. Here is Sander Berger. Here's Oscar Bob. Continuing run by Orsnes. Flings one in there. Double fist away from Jordan Pickford. Oscar Bob grappling and battling away with Jed Spence. Couldn't come away with it. England do, though. Bellingham sets the task of Spence, but Christopher Ayer got back well. We've got 7 minutes of stoppage time to come. Nyland, oh! Almost chaos from the goalkeeper. Great pressing from Jed Spence. And those balls can go anywhere when the keeper clears it off a defender. So unlucky. Jed Spence not had that ball go into the back of the net. Thomas Tuchel demanding more. Aggressively barking orders on the touchline there. Spence getting back to the defensive work. And the header from Haaland to Oscar Bob just misplaced. Oh, great pressing from Bob though. Nearly won it back off Spence this time. Okay, he tries to get rid. Anderson does get rid now. There's a holding off Orsnes. And tripping the Arsenal attacker. Here's a game of little quarter given. Here's a game of moments, it feels like. And with how tired both these sides are, it's about taking a moment. Norway 10 attempts to England 6. 5 attempts on target for Norway to England's 1. Great diagonal to Eza. Anderson drills one in there. Kane couldn't take it down. Touch got away from him. Odegaard can carry it away. If he can wake up and walk tomorrow morning, I'd be surprised. Martin Odegaard, he has carried and covered every single blade of grass. Been so vital for Norway to keep them in possession, keep them humming. Hegem, under pressure from his opposite number 17 in Morgan Rogers. Just has to put it behind for a throw for England. Morgan Rogers plays cheerleader, pumping up those England fans. We saw him struggle with this in the previous game. Obviously, the momentum of England just comes to a halt because of his stoppage. How's that for a t-shirt? That's a beaut. Treatment being given here to Hegem, so he's going to have to go off for a minute. Just the extension there would have tweaked the calf and caused the cramp to happen. England throw taken by Reece James. Set back to John Stones. Probably play up to 9 minutes of stoppage time here because of the intermission for Hegem. Eza. Cutting inside. Meaning Orsnes, but keeping the football. John Stones. Reece James has got the width here on the right-hand side. Stones. Bellingham. Couldn't direct it on target. So Neuland sends this ball long towards Erling Haaland. Rising high as those John Stones. His body's hold up well in these sort of conditions. And Austin is fouled by Ezza. Not much in that. And that's what Ezza's making clear that haven't really done too much to him. Sanderberger. Nolan goes long. Moves her up there with Reece James, but able to win the aerial duel there, and the Chelsea man can shield that ball out of play for an England throw. We have 30 more seconds left of the 7 we added on, but I expect an extra minute or so for the stoppage for Hegem. Had a play off Saka. Good pressing from the Norwegian side. They've sprung the press well when they've had to. Well, Hegem's labouring. That was not the right pass to the man that's clearly laboured. Bellingham willing himself there to it. Oh, like a stinger for Bellingham. Is that a denial of a goal scoring opportunity? He's had a last man challenge from Hegem. It's not very straightforward, that one. But VAR's had enough of a look there and deemed it's fine to play on. The crisis averted for Hegem. He can't move. They need to substitute him in extra time if we go there. Nilan Long. Over Oscar Bob. Headed out by Jed Spence. Orsnes with a long throw. Going to try and get Erdogan in behind. Rogers takes it down. And that is going to be the end of that. They're going to play an extra 30 in a hot and humid Miami. Second half that was in control by the Norwegians and was wrestled back by the English. It ends 1-1 with a short break here. Get ourselves ready. Extra time football is around the corner. It ends Norway 1 and England 1 after regulation time. Alrighty, ladies and gents, we are back for an extra 30 minutes, extra time to separate Norway and England. Can they find a way through this England side with Erling Haaland and Martin Ødegaard pulling the strings looser and Bob out wide? They've subbed Hegem off at the end of the 90, so Ødegaard on, the veteran, experienced figure. Here we go. Jude ready to get it kicked off here. Ready for an extra 30 in Miami ahead of tonight's huge matchup between Argentina and Switzerland. This one was always near the box office one. It always is when England play. Everything is in readiness now. We are underway here. Oh, no, we're not. Jude Bellingham feints everyone out. And then everyone was over the line. So we have to go again. So for a third time, we are underway for extra time here in Miami. England will kick right to left to start us off for the first half for extra time. Norway from left to right. It's James into Anderson with Johnny Stones. Gahey towards the left-hand side here. Jed Spence. As they're trying to get away from Oscar Bob and does so well. Advantage played in England's favour. It's Arsenal's Eberechi Eze. Across to Bukayo Saka. He'll grow into this game as the game gets older and older and he has more time in the park. Reece James, that under-hit ball that Bellingham tried to take in. Cleared away to Erling Haaland. He's had scraps the feet off despite Norway's dominant periods. Both strikers, Kane and Haaland, not a massive chance of note yet. Pedersen trying to stop Saka. Well done from Holger and Pedersen. He does get a corner but keeps Bukayo Saka at bay. England coming again here. And lads all piling into the box here for this Bukayo Saka delivery. Jude, obviously one of the major targets in there. Gahey, Stones, Kane. And here's Saka's delivery. It's a good ball in. Headed away. Haaland wanted a foul for a shirt pull. Saka, one way to the next, and stands up towards the back post. Kane is there. Oh, what a save from Nyland. He kicked it from the back of the net. What a head of Harry Kane. There's a chance for England early on. James. Back to Saka. Another floater. This time it's overhit. We cycle to Eze. Into the area where Morgan Rogers is. Fancies a long range effort. Rogers parried. Bellingham! Hey, Jude! And he's done it again. He's inevitable in this tournament. And it's a double for Jude, who wanted it more. He willed himself there. And for the parry Nyland save, everyone flat-footed. And of course it's Jude. Bellingham again. Bellingham brilliance. And England on top at last. In a really tight game with little quarter given. You need your stars, your superstars to stand up. And when it mattered most, Jude Bellingham has always been there for England. And that's a prime example. He wanted it more. He got there ahead of Orsnes. He beat the centre-halves to it. And following in on the parried save is a simple tap in from there. My word, Jude Bellingham. He is unstoppable right now. And he's in a mood for goals. And once again, he's just carrying his nation towards another victory. He's special. Norway have to respond. They've probably played the better football over the course of the game. But when it matters most, I said it, in a game like this, you need your star players to stand up. You need your superstars to carry you over the line. And that's what Bellingham has done here for England. Odegaard. At least for Norway, a lot of time to go. 26 plus minutes to go. It's not over yet. First time that England have taken the lead in this matchup. Sheldrup scored first. Bellingham equalised on the stroke of half-time. Norway tempted and teased a second goal in the second half. But then the second goal came in the form of an England second goal. And Jude Bellingham here at the start of extra time. And a man that has any and every excuse not to get to the rebound. He's run so much. He's done so much effort and work and intense repeated efforts for this England side. He's the one to react first to get there for the rebound. And again, it's a Morgan Rogers long-range effort. I keep saying this. Take on the long-range shots. We saw Paul Kubasi do something very similar yesterday to allow Mika Marina to get the tap in. A very, almost identical thing today. In an era where everyone wants to walk the ball into the net, sometimes they're taking on that long-range effort, getting the seconds as the way to find a way through. And that Bellingham shirt has come off that man's back. He'll be sleeping with that one tonight, you feel like. He's their hero, Jude Bellingham. And the England fans are finding their voice. It's not been easy. It's not been straightforward, but I think any of this tournament's been easy for England. A comeback victory over DR Congo. That was laid on by Harry Kane. Holding on, last-ditch stuff for half an hour versus Mexico. And far from convincing 0-0 versus Ghana. A disappointing first half and then coming back second half to beat Croatia. They've not made it easy for themselves, but when did this England national team ever do that? If they can hold on for half an hour with 10 men at the Azteca, they'll find this a cakewalk. Berger. Getting away from Jude Bellingham. Jude's 6th goal at this FIFA World Cup. 6 and 6. 1 assist in there as well. It's been some journey. And he is now only 2 back of Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi, who's yet to play tonight. And Jude is still pressing. He's still running. He is charging around this Miami surface, leading his side. Odegaard, who also has covered every blade of grass today. Great midfield battle between Martin Odegaard and Jude Bellingham. Nusa. Here is Berger. Odegaard looking to squeeze one through to Oscar Ball, but broken up there by Morgan Rogers, and him and Ezek working close company. Bellingham lofts that ball forward. The fresh legs of Morgan Rogers. Tries to get their head of Christopher Ayer, and Ayer can only head behind for a throw. England fans up in noise. He's echoing around this Miami stadium. Here's Rogers. What a blessing to have him come off the bench. And obviously all the discussion and conversations in the lead-up was about who would start, Bellingham or Rogers. Tricia picked Bellingham, and boys, that been a great decision, but Morgan Rogers can do impact the game. Oh, what a run from Jed Spence. And he's gone over, and a penalty won by Jed Spence. Brilliant run. Individual brilliance by Jed Spence, who just willed himself forward and brought down in the box. I thought he was running himself down a rabbit hole, but what a run by the Tottenham Hotspur fullback. Oh, unbelievable. From the fullback, he just kept going. Past Bob, keeps the ball in. Past Orsness, kept going. Still with it. And gets his legs tangled up with Oscar Bob. He knew what to do. Get himself ahead of Bob. Get his body in front of the ball. And it makes an easy decision for the referee, Clermont Turpin. Jude Bellingham goes over to him and says, well done. There's going to be a check here for the penalty. I can't see it being overturned. The on-field decision. Who takes the spot kick? Is it Harry Kane? Is it Jude Bellingham? The referee's going to have a look at this. So this would insinuate that it's going to get overturned. I can't see this really being overturned, but whenever they go to the box, you know what happens. Jed Spence gets himself ahead. I'm going to say he engaged a contact, maybe. So we'll listen here to the referee. Penalty being overturned. Norway have a lifeline. Erling Haaland thinks it's a dive. And it's because of Jed Spence engaging the contact by putting his right leg across Oscar Bob's body, which is a fair decision. I didn't think it needed to be overturned, though, to be honest. I know where the referees come from, well, the VAR's come from, but I don't think that's enough to overturn it. Remember, VAR's supposed to be there to overturn the bad errors. That's not really an error. Pull out a play. Jed Spence to throw. Does make null and void. A fantastic run by Jed Spence to win that spot kick. One of the best pieces of skill we've seen in a while at this World Cup. Nusa to Pedersen. Berg, who's starting to lose his impact in this game. Maybe the legs getting a little bit heavy. England have changed their midfield quite a bit. Norway have kept with theirs. Pedersen. Ball put in. Anderson just hooks it away. Out as far as Ostergaard. Now with Christopher Ayer. Kane wanted a handball. Referee didn't see it that way. Oscar Bob. Underlapping run from Erdegaard. He's trying to wriggle away from Morgan Rogers. Arsenal skipper continues to run. Orsness. Ayer. Norway probing. Bob. Fizz the one in. Space for Nusa. Edge of the area. What a block from Mark Gay. He put his body on the line there. And closed that space down. Seemed like an eternity of space for Nusa to take a touch and find his spot. But out of nowhere, Nusa just threw his... Gay just threw his body at it. No handball there. Well done for Mark Gahey. So Berg's corner kick now. He's had a lot of chances to put balls in the box. Berg with a high floater in there. Headed away by John Stones in the end. Norway come here from the halfway line. Three Orsnes. Here's Berg to Berger. We've been capable of creating in possession. We saw it just there. Nusa able to get a shooting opportunity. They've got what it takes, but England with the low block in place now, it's going to be difficult to get past them. Erdegaard, Orsnes, ball in, straight to the hands of Jordan Pickford. He can comfortably claim and take his time over this one. Great take there by Eza on the Pickford throw. So 3 minutes to be added on top of the first half of extra time. 3 minutes for Norway to strike one back here. Jude Bellingham in the earlier portion of extra time, scoring that goal on the rebound to give his side a lead. Also stayed with it. But his forward kick, Haaland was offside, so couldn't intervene with that. Gahey, Kane, Spence. England are tasking keep ball right now, just to see that out to the half-time of extra time. Great switch from left to right. Reece James, a great take. Jude Bellingham on the turn. Jed Spence now. Can he repeat some of that magic a few minutes ago? Eza looking for Bellingham. He made the forward run. Eye headers away. Anderson's there to repel that. Clearance on Berg. England will just see out this first half here. They've got what they came for. They got that goal. Now it's Norway to force to chase it in the second period of extra time. Bukayo Saka, Reece James, Anderson can put one in there. Bellingham made that run. It goes all the way through to Jed Spence. Sorry, Eza. He was offside though. Guard gives it away there to Elliot Anderson. Bellingham. Great switch of play. Saka on the right. This is dangerous for England. Bukayo Saka. Reece James making the overlap. Saka chops inside. Bellingham couldn't keep the effort down. Puts it over in search of that hat-trick. One there by James. Pedersen. Saka gets the better of him in that duel. Well done from Bukayo Saka. That should see us then to half-time of extra time. Head it down to Kane. Maybe there is a last chance here for England. Kane's looks to hold it up though. Feed that ball back, and that is going to be half-time of extra time. It is 2-1 thanks to Jude Bellingham. Getting that tap in the early portion of his extra time period. He added to his first half goal, and that is why England lead 2-1. Short 2-minute break here for the half time of extra time, and we'll be right back for the second period. It is England 2, Norway 1. Alrighty, guys. Here we go. The second period of extra time. It was Bellingham in the first period. Can Haaland or Erdegaard? Strand Larsen's come on. Can one of them respond here in the second period? It's kitchen sink time now for Norway. The furthest they've ever reached in the FIFA World Cup finals. But they want to take another step further. They're going to need a strong 15 minutes to do so. England have 1 foot in a semi-final once again of a World Cup, replicating the heroics of 2018 in Russia. They've fallen at this hurdle though before. Last tournament in Qatar. And in years prior as well, they've never really fancied themselves after this stage, despite all the quality they've had. Berger to Berg. He's continued to run and create for midfield. Nusa trying to make that run in behind. Wondering if Norway can try and, utilise the wide space and get balls in the box. Cut back from Nusa. I think Haaland actually come off for Strand Larsen there. Let me double check the substitutions. It is. Haaland's made way to allow Strand Larsen on. So he was dealing with some sort of problem, and it is enough for him to make way. That could be the end of his tournament, unless his side can get them over the line. The first game in which he hasn't scored, Erling Haaland, this tournament. Pickford sends us high up the pitch following that Bellingham foul. Westergaard heads out of play. England will look to take every single second off this game now. They cannot afford to give any counter-attacks away or any spare chance for Norway to find that equaliser. A lot of tired legs out there right now. Kane, Bellingham, Erdegaard, Berg and Berger. will be very, very fatigued. Stars Bucken continuing to bark orders. He's made his changes now. It's up to these players on the pitch to make the difference. Strand Larson, little shove in the back there, and Anderson. Referee tells Anderson to get back to his feet. That's to Ostergaard. Back with the keeper. Ostergaard now. They've got 13 minutes to save their FIFA World Cup campaign here in Norway. It's already been a great success, but they have a high bar. Haaland, Erdegaard and company. They expect a lot. They want to go and make a semi-final. It's still there, up for grabs though. Only one goal to send us one to penalties. Oscar Bob. He played much better in the second period of the 90. Maybe second period of the extra time better. Patrick Berg fashioned the shot off there. Unable to keep that one down though. Space operating on the edge of the area. Just couldn't get over it. I think the late challenge from Jed Spence just puts him off his strike and forces him to hit over the crossbar there. Anderson around the corner. Ostergaard with the head up. Taken down to Noosa. Paddling in there by Harry Kane. Getting back defensively. And Harry Kane can lengthen his stride and get away. Bukayo Saka has two for company now with Aya and Orsnes there. He chops inside of both of them. Bukayo Saka lacked the power. Oh, and the throw picked up on by Jed Spence, who continues his run. Jed Spence! Oh, save, parried. Saka! Again, Nyland in the way. And Norway in it still, just. England look like they found their legs here. Getting on the end of those second balls, fighting out of their opposition number. Anderson, Stones, Rogers. England starting to purr. James, back to Johnny Stones. Great pass from Pickford. Picks out Saka on his right-hand side, who fancies his matchup, but offside flag goes up in the end. Great double save in the end by Nyland. Keep his nation in this one. Jude Bellingham after a double has pulled up stumps for the day. He has willed this team to victory today. Been a lot of passengers out there for England. He has been the one that has led the team front of the ship and has surely put them 1 foot in a semi-final. And ironically, he scored a goal with two different feet today. Left and right feet. Back-to-back braces for him. Back-to-back man-of-the-match performances. Playing like a man possessed right now, Jude Bellingham. So Dan Burn on to shore up this backline. We'll play at the left of a back three with the two other fullbacks making wingbacks and a proper back five right now. So Spence, Burn, Gahey, Stones, James from left to right. Burn with that first header to the roar of the England fans. So 5-2-3 right now for England. Noosa looks to go and get past Reece James. Reece James is having none of that though. And wins a throw for England on this near side. And England now Only 8 minutes away for 4 consecutive World Cup wins. First time they've done that since the end of the 66 campaign, the start of the 70 campaign. Wasn't that a good era for England? Despite Norway scoring first, England have fought their way back. Final knockings now. 7 minutes to play for Norway. 7 minutes to salvage their campaign. Here's Martin Ødegaard. Antonio Nusa. Darting inside. Berger. Ødegaard, can he produce a magic moment? Rabbit out the hat type stuff here. Picks out a pass. Trying to last on the target. Headed away. Berger. Nusa. With Reece James backpedaling. Nusa's shot blocked. That nick took him behind for a corner kick. England have to defend this one. And this is where corners are very dangerous. A lot of tired legs. A lot of new faces. How do you defend the corner? Who do you man up on? Where do you clear the ball to? So important everyone's on the same page if you're England. If you're Norway, it's about throwing your body at it. Getting there in the first contact. Keeping the second ball alive. Scrapping and fighting. Ødegaard's left-footed in swing. Away by John Stones as far as Oscar Bob. He just lashed at it and hit it over the bar. That chance goes begging. As England fans holding that World Cup trophy aloft. They might be doing that in a week's time. As it gets a block on it, actually. I think the referee saw that. Grappling between Ayer and Kane. Referee lets him play. Norway come again now. Berg to Berger. Just feel like delivery smart wide are going to be the answer right now. There's no need to try and be tricky or precise with it. Get balls in the box and get numbers in there. Ostergaard has gone up like he has done when it's been game-saving moments in the past. Floater in from Ødegaard. Strand Larsen got a nick. James' clearance came off. Nusa in it. Took it behind. Maybe a Pickford goal kick. And seconds and precious seconds of that continue to tick away. There's Norwegian fans on the edge of their seats. Hoping for, praying for a response. Anderson holds off Antonio Nusa. Ball kept in place. Strand Larsen got a toe on that. Berg away from Rodgers and bundled over. And the advantage would try to be played, but a secondary challenge. I mean, that advantage was halted. So, free kick for Norway here. Nusa fouled by Reece James. A free kick here for Antonio Nusa. Here we go. 4 to go. Norwegian free kick to be delivered by Martin Ødegaard. Sending it into a dangerous spot. Pickford comes for it. Bit of miscommunication because Rodgers ended up heading it. Ayer is furious with the referee because he believes the game shouldn't be halted because it was friendly fire in there. Pickford cleaned up by his own man then, Morgan Rodgers. So a long stoppage here, so we'll get stoppage time here in extra time. Can understand the frustration though. It's self-sabotage there. So drop ball for Norway. And they come forward again. That's a dangerous ball in there though by Martin Ødegaard. This is the region here. Nusa cut inside and whip a ball in. England win the throw. Reece James. Well done. Clearing toe. Taking a nick on the way out. And now we tick into the 119th minute now. We've got 2 minutes to go here. Great hold up play from Strand Larsen. Lays it off to Nusa. Strand Larsen gets it back to Antonio Nusa. Scent of offside about it. And there is a flag at last. So England get the ball back again. More seconds off the clock. Yeah, had to go quicker there. Strand Larsen. Pickford now. Send it forward. England a couple of minutes away from going back to a World Cup semi-final. First time since 2018. Kane goes down. The referee doesn't buy it though. Collection of heads there, grazing of heads between Ajer and Kane. I'll give away poor. Great touch from Eza. Ajer got a foot in, but Eza's going to get there first ahead of Bob. This is important possession. An important time for England. Eza back to Dan Burn. Fresh legs from Dan Burn. Back to Pickford. Across to John Stones. Pull forward, broken up by Orsnes. That's a dangerous diagonal. Dan Burn in the way. Oscar Boy has to get there before Jed Spence, but Jed Spence, a great turn of speed. Well done, Jed Spence. Starting to set in now, the reality for Norway. They've fought so hard here. 2 minutes of stoppage time to play. There'll be one half chance probably at max. But if England keep the ball up here with Morgan Rogers, well, there's no chance. Rogers towards the corner flag. Runs out of tarmac. 90 seconds between England and the semi-final and Norway and their World Cup dream coming to an end. And that's poor from Ajer. Going straight out of play. So another England throw. Norway almost out on their feet right now. They're giving everything here. Ødegaard up into the Miami sky. Saka goes back to John Stones, who's laboured. Pickford sends it up the pitch. 60 seconds now for England. Header from Ajer. Gets there ahead of it. Eza. Berger. Orsnes, they have to go up now. Norway, they have to send this ball forward. Ødegaard. It's now or never for them. It's a floater. It's a tired pass from Ødegaard. Great turn from Eza. But he just gives it away. Shows too much of it to Christopher Ajer. 30 seconds left for Norway. Nusa. Nusa charging forward. It falls to Bob. There's a high foot in there. Jed Spence gets rid of it. 20 seconds, 15 now. Nyland long. Long diagonal. Dan Burn up. What a roar. And that is the full-time whistle. England have done it again. And it's Jude Bellingham who's put the country on his back once more. It has been hard work. It has been a graft in the Miami humidity. But in big cup situations, in knockout football, you always lean on your superstar. And you need your star players to turn up on the big occasion. It wasn't Haaland's day. It was Bellingham's day. And it was a Bellingham brace to send England into a semi-final to face the winner of Switzerland and Argentina in Atlanta. Players are out on their feet everywhere. It has been one of those type games. Norway were courageous. They were arguably better in the 90. But when it mattered most, in stoppage time and then in extra time, Jude Bellingham came up clutch. England 2, Norway 1. They'll be rowing back home tonight and not towards Atlanta. It's Harry Kane, it's Bellingham, and it's Thomas Tuchel who are through to a big semi-final. What a game and what a performance from these two outfits. England have one more chapter at least in their story. And a scent of maybe going to a World Cup final in New York, New Jersey awaits them. It ends England 2, Norway 1.